It was a cold autumn afternoon when Daniel sat alone in a quiet cafe downtown. His coffee had gone cold, untouched, while his fingers mindlessly scrolled through social media. The sound of notifications blended with the hum of distant conversations, the clinking of cups, and the occasional laughter of strangers. He had no idea how long he had been there. An hour? 2? It didn't matter. He had nowhere to be, nothing urgent to do. Just another wasted afternoon. Across the room, an older man watched him with a knowing smile. Dressed in a sharp gray suit with silver hair neatly combed back, the man radiated a quiet authority. He observed Daniel for a moment before finally speaking. "You seem quite lost in that little screen, young man," the old man said, his voice deep and steady. Daniel looked up, startled. He hadn't noticed the man sitting there. "Oh, yeah, I guess," Daniel muttered. "Just killing time." The old man chuckled. "Killing time? Interesting choice of words." Daniel frowned slightly. "Well, yeah, just passing the time, you know." The old man leaned forward, resting his hands on the polished wooden table. "Let me ask you something. If someone gave you $86,400 every morning, but told you that anything you didn't spend by midnight would disappear, what would you do?" Daniel blinked, confused. "I mean, I'd spend every cent, obviously. Who wouldn't?" The old man nodded. "And yet, you waste the 86,400 seconds you're given every single day." Daniel froze. The words hit him harder than he expected. "Time is the only currency you can never earn back," the old man continued. "And once your balance hits zero, that's it. No more deposits." The cafe suddenly felt quieter, the air heavier. "You're saying time is like money?" Daniel asked. The old man smiled. "No, son. Time is far more valuable than money. You can always make more money, but you can never make more time." That night, as Daniel lay in bed, those words echoed in his mind. He thought back to all the hours he had wasted, scrolling, complaining, avoiding the things he really wanted to do. Then, something strange happened. He found himself standing in the middle of an enormous bank. The floors were marble, the walls adorned with golden clocks, all ticking at different speeds. Behind the counter, a banker in a crisp suit handed him a small envelope. "Your daily deposit, sir." Daniel opened it. Inside was a check for $86,400. His eyes widened. "This is mine?" The banker nodded. "Yes, but if you don't spend it all by midnight, it will disappear. You will receive a new deposit tomorrow, but one day, the deposits will stop, and you will never know when." Daniel's heart pounded. He ran through the grand hall, spending the money as quickly as he could, buying gifts, experiences, memories. But no matter how much he spent, midnight always came too fast. One day, he rushed to the bank, breathless, holding his empty hands out. "Where's my deposit?" he gasped. The banker shook his head. "Sir, your account has been closed." Daniel woke up with a start, his heart racing. His room was dark, his phone screen glowing beside him. The time read 3:17 a.m. He stared at it, realization washing over him like a tidal wave. He had been living exactly like that dream, wasting his daily deposits, assuming there would always be more. But one day, just like in the dream, the deposits would stop. He wouldn't get a warning. There would be no way to check his balance. The only thing he could do was start spending his time wisely before it was too late. The next morning, Daniel did something he hadn't done in years. He left his phone on the table and watched the sunrise. He called an old friend he hadn't spoken to in years. He finally signed up for that course he had been putting off. And when he walked out the door that day, he didn't take his usual route to work. He took the long way, breathing in the crisp autumn air, listening to the world around him. For the first time in a long time, he felt alive. And somewhere, in a quiet cafe, an old man in a sharp gray suit watched him walk by, smiling to himself. You receive 86,400 seconds every single day. You can't save them. You can't get them back. The only question is, how will you spend them?